you go. Okay, so question 1. Question numéro 1. Question ichi in Japanese. So you want to deposit your money, okay, in a saving account, and Bank A offers you 3% interest compounded semi-annually, and Bank B offers 2.7% interest compounded daily. Which bank do you choose to deposit your money in? Now, what we're going to do for this question is that we're going to do it together. You're going to see how do I try to solve questions and what's my game plan. Hopefully, you could follow along that game plan right now and also use that game plan when practicing for questions alike on your own. So the first thing I'd like to do is I like to highlight pieces of information that I believe may be useful. In this case, we have 2 scenarios, right? We have Bank A, okay? So we have Bank A and we have Bank B. So already there, we know that we're dealing with 2 different options, i.e. alternatives, right? Option A, option B. Now, these 2 options differ. How do they differ? Well, one of them offers you 3%, okay, interest rate. That's cool. That's awesome. And the other offers you 2.7% interest rate. That's not bad, pretty dope. However, they differ in their compounding frequency. So we could take this and we could say, you know what? One is compounded semi-annually, which is option A, and the other is compounded daily, which is option B. And now we want to figure out, well, what option do we select? Now, obviously, we don't use the flowchart here. We're not dealing with a set of payments. We're not dealing with any cash flows. We're not asking you to solve for the present value and or the future value of anything. What we are asking you is to figure out, well, which investment is the best, okay? So once again, the best way to go about a question like this, you don't even need to use a formula. You could use logic, and we're going to try to attempt that together. So let's look at Bank A's option. All right, we're going to look at Bank A's option, and I guess we can do this. Will this work? It does work. Amazing. It's cool. So let's look at Bank A's option. So Bank A, once again, is telling you we're offering you 3%, okay, per year, but this is going to be compounded semi-annually. All right, that's what they're telling you, compounded semi-annually. Now, on an exam, you could just plug this in within the formula. But what we're going to do now is we're going to visualize the formula, we're going to make sense of it, and then we're going to plug it in within the formula. That's how I practice problems when I took the class. I would always go above and beyond what is requested from the question because I want to visualize it, I want to understand it, and I don't want to deal with the classic, well, I didn't see this question in my practice questions. Well, if you understand stuff, you don't care whether you saw it or not because you understand the material. You'll be able to kind of like show resiliency and get through it. En français, we say that's la débrouillardise. So if we were to visualize this, let's visualize Bank A's option. So we'll write it down right here. This is Bank A. All right, so Bank A, what they're telling you is that they're going to offer you 3% semi-annually. So 3% here, 3% here, 3% here, and 3% here. Notice how essentially this is 3 months, this is 6 months, 9 months, and then we have 1 year. So I feel like the timeline should be pretty clear. That's what they're telling you. Now, obviously, it's not going to be 3% that you're going to get every 6 months. No, you're going to get half of that. Okay, you're going to get interest rate per 6 months, i.e. semi-annually, will be equal to 3% divided by 2, i.e. 1.5%. So here, you're actually going to be getting 1.5%, 1.5%, 1.5%, and 1.5%. Okay? So that's awesome. Now we have that part. So essentially, this is telling you that if you had money to invest, right, it would be compounded at this amount. It would make 1.5%. Then you're going to take that principal plus interest, And you're going to take that and you're going to compound it with 1.5%. And that's going to give you a new, it's going to give you a bigger amount, right? Because you're compounding interest. So what we could do now is we could do, and I'm sorry that it's ugly, 1.015 to the power of 2. And that's going to give us an amount. Minus 1, that's going to give us an amount. Can somebody in the chat tell me what does 1.0, geez, 1.015 to the power of 2 minus 1? Can somebody tell me what does that give you? What does that give you? Yeah, thank you. Exactly. So that gives you effective annual rate of 0.03025. Okay? In other words, this gives you 3.025%. Okay, so I'm going to visualize bank B's option. And from there, you're going to tell me what's up with it. So here we're getting 2.7% interest per year, but we know that this is compounded daily. Okay, it's compounded daily. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I kind of went what you said, but thank you for the correction. Okay, so that's compounded daily. So essentially, we're telling you that every single day, a portion of 2.7% will be compounded. Okay, every single day. Somebody tell me, what would be our effective annual rate if we were to consider that? What would be our effective annual rate? So what you would do is 1 plus the rate divided by 365 to the power of this, the power of 365. What would be your effective annual rate? As somebody other than Waleed will give me bank B's option. Somebody other than Waleed. Okay? Somebody other than Waleed, I want you to give me the answer for bank B. How much would be your effective annual rate? What would be your total return in a year if you were to have 2.7% compounded daily? Once again, having something compounded daily is simply taking the rate they're giving you in the question, dividing it by the total number of compounding periods, and then taking that amount to the power, okay, of the number of compounding periods, and that's going to give you your answer. All right? We're literally telling you, hey, if you were to essentially compound that amount to the number of times that was provided, so either daily, monthly, yearly, blah, 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 what would be your total return at the end? That's what we're asking you. Okay? So can somebody tell me, what is the effective annual rate of bank B? What is the effective annual rate of bank B? What do you guys got? This has been on exams. It's super easy. It takes 2 seconds to do. And that, I hope you have questions. If you have a question, let me know, because I'll help you out. I'll be more than happy to help. So what is bank B's option? What is the effective annual rate of bank B? Because somebody to give it a shot. Bianca, Brandon, Jessica, Vanessa, Vince, Yusra, William. What do y'all got? What are we supposed to do here? Yeah, it's in the question. The bank offers 2.7% interest, okay? And that interest is compounded daily, all right? Such that, what is your answer? I'll give you guys, okay. That's amazing, William. Thank you so much. Exactly. You would get the very fair amount of 0.0273, essentially, whoops, 2.73%. Okay, so now let me ask you all this. William, what's up? What's good?
Quick question, Ismail. So let's say that in the question they mention it's the effective rate, so then we don't have to do the calculation, right?
Exactly. So that's an amazing question, actually, William. If in the question they tell you, hey, this is the effective rate, well, in that case, you already have the effective rate. You already have the rate that includes the compounding. You don't need to do anything to it if you're trying to compare an effective rate to another. Okay, that's an amazing question. In this case, they told you, hey, here are just rates. With that, they didn't tell you that's the effective rate. They also told you that it's compounded at a certain volume. So with that, you need to make sure to compare both of them with both their effective annual rate because it's the easiest way to go about it. But that's a very, very good question, William. Okay. Any other questions for question one? Are we good? I need everybody to tell me, if you see this on an exam, do you know exactly what to do? And do you feel confident that you'll get the right answer? Quick yes or no in the chat. If I see one or two, that's okay. We'll move on to the next. If we see this on an exam, are we good? Are we happy? Are we fulfilled? Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. Actually, Walid, I love that. So yeah, the first part, yes, we choose bank A, obviously, because bank A is bigger than bank B. Now, unless you want to lose money, you'd go with bank B. But so yeah, Walid, first part is highlighting the important parts, then finding the effective rate, and then comparing them. 3 steps of this question. And you don't need to find F here, right? You don't need to because you have everything that you need. It's very rare that you need to find F. I've actually never seen a question like that myself in past exams and or in the class when I took it. Usually you may need to take a rate to another. It would be very complex because it's going to be a fraction. And anyway, it would be very weird to kind of find just the exponent. I've never seen that. I could be wrong though, but I've never seen that. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. I feel like that would be a low blow if they would go so far. But